Good morning. Okay, I think we're live. Let me get my handy dandy microphone ready. Okay, it looks like a beautiful Saturday morning, October 17th. A little bit on the cool side, but that's good because it's full time. So let's. Okay, I hear my voice, so that's a good thing. So last week I did a whole post without any sound, so that wasn't good. So today I do have the sound. So welcome to another broadcast. Hold on a second. With my with my beginning that's up here. Well, let me just fix something for a second, but I hope you're doing well. Last week we had a very serious conversation on what may happen in the future with the real estate market if certain things didn't happen. One of the biggest things is that we got to get another stimulus package out to help people pay for their rents. We don't want owners of investment properties, if they have their own mortgages on them, to go into default. Okay, so we really need that second stimulus package. And number two, we really need to get control of COVID-19, which, if you look at the recent reports, now we're having surges. I just got a Facebook message from my sister who lives in England, and they're going back to tier 2, and they cannot have anybody in the house who is not the immediate family. So they're getting very, very strict. So, like I said, and I've said earlier, we have to beat this thing. The sooner we really eradicate it and it ends, we're much better off. The longer it takes, the longer, well, let's put it this way, there will be more issues, okay? The longer it will take to bounce back, and the longer it takes, more businesses will close, more people will be out of work. So two big things we have to do is get another stimulus package out, sort of almost like a bridge loan to once we beat this thing. And I'm not saying we're not on the verge of beating it. I'm just giving you the what is, what might happen. I pray to God that we have a vaccine by next month, and it goes out to everybody. I pray to God for that. I pray to God that we find a cure. But if it doesn't, we have certain issues to think about. So I have my my preview uploaded. So now it's time for okay. So that was our little preview of what's going on, and what's today's topics that we're going to talk about. And it's a big item. It really is. And before I go deep into it, our producer Leonard is again outside the Hampton American Theater in Phoebus. And just to mention some things about Phoebus, I drove past Mallory and then on to Mellon Street. And these are for people who live in Hampton who know Phoebus. There's a lot of development going on there. I understand we're going to have the Baker's Wife restaurant, which is a French restaurant. We're going to have a cigar wine bar, and I like that. And the other one that is escaping me for a minute, what's opening up? Oh, I sent it out today. If it comes to me, there's another place opening up, and right now I forget it. But I do want to talk about the American Theater that I love. Okay, I've been there for many concerts, from classical to jazz to plays to comedians. Went to see the guy who does a perfect impersonation of Groucho Marx. I love the theater, the American Theater. They have a very ambitious schedule starting in fall. I mean, in February of 2021. I fingers crossed that we could still go with it, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to have our producer Leonard talk a little bit about it. Hi, Leonard.
Yes, Chris. I am in front of the American Theater in Phoebus, which is part of Hampton. They have a wonderful 2021 season starting up in February. Artists will be, to name a few, the Duke Ellington Orchestra, The Fifth Dimension, Melissa Manchester, C.C. Williams, Dee Dee Bridgewater, Diane Shure, and so many more. This is their best season ever in my opinion, and you can view either inside the theater or virtually online. I'm very excited. To view more info, go to hamptonarts.net. The American Theater.
Thank you, Leonard. So again, go to their website. You could see what the performances they're going to have in 2021. It's fantastic. It really is. And I'm really looking forward to it and keeping my fingers crossed that we could still have it. All right. So a lot of things are happening. Phoebus is building up. They're building a lot of new apartments nearby. So Phoebus needs the stores, the restaurants, and a lot is going on there. All right. And so let's talk about today's topics. Let's get our chalkboard up here and see what we're going to discuss today. Okay, and let me get back up here. Just a screenshot of that blackboard. Okay, and all right, I'll close my caption here so you can see a little bit better. And let's see, can I come in here a little bit? Let's see. All right, let's just leave that up here for now. Okay. So I just want to start off when I get a potential new home buyer as a lead, and it's from very different sources. It's from people who see my my advertisements, my videos, my live streams, who call. Some are from a source that provides leads, and they're all gung-ho for buying a house. And when I ask, have you been pre-approved, and it hasn't happened, or they'll say, yeah, but I'm going to be, but I want to work more on my credit. And this is the biggest hurdle to come over. I have many leads I'm working on that I keep in touch with on a weekly basis. But they still haven't gotten through that first hurdle about calling a mortgage loan officer. And again, a couple months ago, I had on Lisa McNeil Old Point Mortgage, and we did a live stream together. And I said to her, if someone called in and they had really bad credit, are you going to criticize them? Are you going to yell at them? She goes, absolutely not. We're going to give you the best information on how to increase that credit score, and we'll work with you. And this is what we do. We're not going to make money if people are not able to or eligible for a loan. So they will help you, and there's no criticism. And the best thing, if you cannot be approved now, is that they will give you a game plan, and they will tell you what lines of credit you should pay down first at a higher speed, at a higher amount. You need to pay your monthly minimum for all the accounts, but they say, well, if you could add some extra money to this account, if it's, let's say, a Citibank Visa, they'll give you that, because some companies report a little bit faster to the credit bureaus than others. Some will affect the score higher than others. There's a science to it. I know of it. I don't know the details of it, but I know there's a system. It can't just be, okay, I know I got to make a little extra payments here and I'll do it. No, they'll give you a game plan. They'll tell you what to pay down the first, and what to attack first. And they could even tell you, well, if you pay down this and you bring down this credit line by $300, $500, I'll raise your score such and such. So they'll give you a game plan. It's not like you're haphazardly just paying it down. They'll give you a plan. And when you have a plan, you tend to follow that than just haphazardly, I use that word again, go and trying to figure out what the heck to do. All right. So work with them, call them. And again, the second thing I want to say, some people who, again, are buyer leads will say, okay, I'm going to see what's out there first, and then I'll be approved. No, don't do that. Because there will be a point where you'll find that perfect dream house. You go and you try to get pre-approved or pre-qualified. And the loan officer says, no, we can't do that. You have to bring it up. Your school, it might take another 2 or 3 months, but you can't buy it right now. So tackle that problem right away. Get that up and running, because this way, when you see that house, that dream house, you could go for it quickly. Because with every offer we put in, okay, there must be a pre-qualified letter. And just to give you, we say pre-qualified, we say pre-approved. What's the difference? Pre-qualified is when you speak to the loan officer on the phone. You tell him or her what your income is from your job. If you have additional income, if you have alimony, if you have rental income, you bring in all your sources of income, and he looks at that, or she looks at it, and then they will look at your credit report. And based upon that information, and especially the information that has not been substantiated, such as your income, they'll give you the pre-qualification and your limits. What's the highest amount of home you could purchase? Once you bring in all that paperwork, and all the I's are dots and the T's are crossed, and they make sure there's no other issues, then you are pre-approved. Okay, so pre-qualified could be done over the phone, and it could take from a half hour to an hour. And once that is done, you're pre-qualified. If I am your agent, which hopefully I will be, the loan officer will shoot me over a copy of your pre-qualified letter, and then we go shopping. All right? So don't wait until you find that home. Get that done now. And then, I didn't think I was going to go so deep in this part, but and then once you're pre-qualified and this is also very important. Maybe I'll just do a class on this or a discussion on this. But then once you're pre-qualified, you can't just go and buy large ticket items like cars, like big screen TVs. If you're going to put it on credit, all right. If you're buying a big screen TV with a credit card, with a store, a line of credit, or you're going to buy a car, you can't do those big things, all right? You have to keep everything under control for that time period until you close, all right? All right. So that's a little before information about what we're going to talk about today. But then a lot of people who are new buyers, they say, well, how much do I have to put down? And there are many different types of loans out there. And you do not have to put down for certain loans 10% or 20% of the purchase price of the house. So in other words, if you're looking at a house that's $200,000, you don't have to put down $20,000 or up to $40,000. There are other loans out there. And what are they? Well, we have FHA, Fannie Mae, and I have VA up here, but that's a special group. Let's first talk about VA loans. VA is for active duty military and retired military, which is then you become officially a veteran. For your service to the country, the government is going to back 100% loan, meaning that you do not have to put down the down payment on the house. So if you buy a house for $200,000, you don't have to put down $20,000 or $40,000. Okay, or maybe down to $6,000 or $7,500. Okay, you don't have to put down anything. You can if you want to lower your payment, but you're not required to. And you do not have to, and we'll talk a little bit more with the FHA, Fannie Mae, have to pay what they call mortgage insurance. And when we get to these two other ones, we'll go into that into more further detail. But going back to the VA, VA loans again are for military, and then now this is the confusion with some people when it comes to VA loans, because I have a lot of military who call and they say, oh, I have a VA eligibility for $250,000. Okay. And there's a formula involved with that, based upon your military pay. And I'm going to guess, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe the amount of time you put in. And that may not be true, but I know it's based upon your income. You would be awarded from the VA. They'd say, okay, we're going to back a loan up to $250,000. And many military personnel believe that, oh, that's their credit limit on a house. They could buy a house up to $250,000. And that's not true. Okay, it could be true, but it doesn't mean that that's the amount of home you could buy. What the VA is doing, they will guarantee a loan up to your amount, and they're guaranteeing the money. They're not putting out the money. The bank puts out the money. So you still have to be within the guidelines of that bank you're going to. So a bank might do your pre-qualification and saying, well, with the income that you're making plus the debts that you're paying out, you're only going to be approved for $150,000. Or they might not approve you at all. So there's a big difference between eligibility and being pre-qualified by a bank. The VA is only backing up that loan for the bank, but they're not giving the money, okay? So that's a big difference. You still have to be pre-qualified by a Bank of America, by a Tidewater mortgage, by an Old Point mortgage bank. You have to still be pre-qualified. All right. But in my area, what I've done with my experience, I've done a lot of FHA and mostly FHA, some Fannie Mae, but FHA seems to be a big one. And with FHA, that's a guaranteed loan by the government. And because the government gives you that guarantee, the bank will work with lower credit scores. All right. The information I'm going to show, and actually, let me actually get that up here right now. Let's see. Let's close this right now because I have some material to show you. So let's hide that. Here I am. We're going to put this on, and let me make me small. Okay, well, I made myself bigger. I'll just to only be there for 5 years. They know how long they're actually going to be there. That might be a reason why to have an adjustable rate mortgage. So you're getting a break on your mortgage. 5 years from now, you don't. If you decide that you don't want to be a landlord and then just rent it out, you could sell it, and hopefully the market went up and you make good money on it. But in that time period, you paid a very low mortgage. All right. So that works in that case. But if you're going to be in a property, you say, well, this is it. I'm not moving. I'm going to be here until, I once had a client tell me they're staying in the house until they leave feet first. Okay. That means that they're carried out on the stretcher or on a gurney. So if that's your plan, then the adjustable rate mortgage may not be that good. All right. And one more thing I'm going to say, there are what are called grants. And this is money for a down payment and or closing cost that you could use and do not have to pay back unless, and I'm not talking about all grants, on specific ones that I worked out in the past, is that if they give you let's make it simple, $4,000, okay, to go for your down payment. So if you would leave that house in the third year, if you would sell it the third year, they might say, okay, you have to give back $1,000. Like, in other words, it's that you have to be in that house. They'll give you a time limit of, let's say, 4 years. So as long as you stood that in the house for 4 years, you didn't sell it, then you don't have to pay that money back. All right. But if you did leave before that, and it'll be prorated. So say, for instance, you stood in the house for 3 years, you would have to pay back $1,000. But these grants are very good. They're also based upon income. Some are industry specific, so they'll give it to city workers, they'll give it to teachers, they'll give it to people in the health industries, first responders, firemen, military, and some will be in different degrees. Some will give you up to $5,000, some will give you up to $7,500, some will give you up to $10,000, depending on your profession. So I worked with one mortgage company that had that a lot, and we did quite a few of those. I haven't done that many of those in a while, so I would say, if you're interested, contact me. I'll call my people to see if they're still using them. One of the people that I'm actively working with, she had them about a year ago. I'm assuming she still has, but we could always research it for you. Okay. So what I want to do as well, because this episode was very buyer laden, on the buyer side. We also, again, as I say every Saturday, we need listings. Okay. And some people always maybe, spring is a good time to list a property. It's spring. People want to be in a new house. So if the kids start a new year in September at a different school, different district, they're ready. And that's been the basic understanding of real estate. Like, spring is the time. Summer. I've made money in times that during the holiday seasons, I've had many closings, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes people in the car industry will make great money around the holidays, because then they'll offer a lot of discounts, or basically the ones who are shopping for a car around Christmas time really need a car. Okay. All right. Who wants to be bothered with looking for a car around Christmas time? Okay. So it it doesn't matter. I mean, when people need a house, they need a house. So if they need a house, on December 15th, they need a house. So this video is going to talk about why, because now the market is very competitive. It's a seller's market. Few homes out there, many buyers. Don't wait to spring. And we don't know what's going to happen in spring. All right. Again, I don't want to be, someone who's bringing on, bad premonitions of the future. But we're at this, we're on the fence right now. Okay. Got to see where my camera is. And it could go either way. And the more this COVID is around, and if it gets worse, it's not going to be good. All right. So if you have a house that you want to sell, please do not wait to spring. I mean, you will have, if it's priced correctly, and it has to be priced correctly, you will have offers within 24 to 48 hours, and many times multi-offers. So let's see a little video upon that. Okay. So that goes out to our potential sellers. Don't wait until spring. List your house now. Please call me. That's very important. Okay. We need the listings, and we'll get it sold. As long as you allow me to price it correctly, that's very important. All right. So I think I'm seeing Leonard waving to me to get my attention. Let me see what's going on.
Chris, great news. We have a special guest in the audience. He was a Spanish puppeteer known for his speed, skill, and grace as a ventriloquist. His stable of characters included Johnny, a childlike face drawn on his hand, placed atop an otherwise headless doll, with whom the ventriloquist conversed while switching voices between Johnny's falsetto and his own voice with great speed. Seen many times on Ed Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen, Señor Wences.
Wow, I haven't seen him in years. Again, last week we had Popo Gigio on from the Ed Sullivan Show. I'm glad to see these guys are still working, and that they stopped by the show. Thank you so much. And so it's time to say goodbye. I actually went a little bit longer than a half hour. I apologize. We'll see you next week. Be safe. Wear your mask. Try to stay 6 feet away. Wash your hands. And enjoy the day. It looks beautiful. So we'll see you next week on the world famous Real Estate with Mr. G at 10 a.m. Thank you.